Network monitoring with new lab. Network monitoring is a process of capturing the data packets and analyzing it for our own purpose. It is a very important step in malware analysis because many malware tries to communicate with the server either for sending the information, either for downloading any certain stuff that is placed in the server, and so on. Many malware does this because whenever you try to install a malicious program, a good antivirus usually detects it very easily. So the malware tries to communicate with the command and control server, and the IP addresses which is being traced in the code of the malware. It tries to communicate with it and download other malicious file and tries to execute it remotely. It also gives a remote connection to the attacker. This is how ransomware attack also works. So it is very important that you analyze your network with while executing a malware. So this is definitely a thing of dynamic analysis, right? Because we are analyzing the network traffic by executing the malware. So now, till now it seems simple that we are going to execute a malware sample and analyze the network traffic. So let's do that. I will open my lab, and in the lab I will go to tools, and this is a Wireshark tool for monitoring the network. It is a very famous tool. I will use another tool, that is Microsoft Network Monitor. It will also do the same thing for me. I will click on next. I accept the agreement. I do not want to update Windows. I will click on complete. We'll go on back. Yes, complete is good. Install. You can either use Wireshark, TCP dump, or any other tool of your own choice. Many people do not know about this tool, that Microsoft also has a network monitor. So I'm going to show this how this works for your own purpose. So after installing this tool, we will proceed. So the tool is getting installed now, and after we install this tool, we will open it. Our tool has been installed now. This is the tool, and we are opening it. This is the Microsoft Network Monitor, and let's start capturing the packet. I will click on new capture tab, and then click on, first of all I will load my sample2, for which I want to monitor the or capture the traffic. I will minimize it a bit and open up my malware sample. You can use any of the sample for practice purposes. Just Google any random malware sample which is having networking capabilities. You're gonna find it. I will use this sample. Where is the start button? Here is the, we have to click on the start button, new capture. Okay, this starts the capture too. So this is the start button. Let me click here. So as you saw that it was giving me an error. And one more thing you need to note with this error is that every time you execute any tool, please make sure that you give them administrator right. I gave it an administrator right. Now it will work fine. I will click on new capture. I will increase the size of it and go to the malware sample, and this is the malware sample which I'm going to execute. I will click on start, and after clicking on start I will execute the malware sample, and it started. You can see it, my screen got flooded up. So it is trying to communicate with any malware analysis something.com. This malware is made for educational purpose only, to study, therefore it is communicating with such server which has malware name in it. And these are all the network traffic you can capture, like the frame number, the frame length. You can expand the IPv4 section to see the fragment size, the source IP addresses, the destination IP address, and so on. I'll expand this bit more, and these are the communication that is happening, and the IP addresses which it is trying to communicate, like 49.44.114.43. With such IP address you can find more about the target of from where it is trying to communicate. So this is how you monitor the network traffic. So that it sounds very simple, and the bad thing which we are doing is, and we should not do, is that we are connected with the internet, and we should not do this. I connected with the internet because this is an educational sample, but we should not do this. And I already told you about that. We have to create our own lab in an isolated environment with host only settings. So let's do this. Now let's move to the part 2 of our video. Here we will set up our new lab. Currently we have a Windows machine that is running. Now I will revert back to the previous snapshot when I didn't run the malware. I'm reverting back, and let us install another lab for this purpose. I will go on Google and type remnux OA file. What is a remnux? Remnux is a Linux based machine which is still under development, and it is meant for malware analysis. It is a Linux toolkit for the purpose of malware analysis. So here you will get so many different tools, and what we are going to do in this demonstration is that we will be setting up our own lab with a Windows and a Remnux machine. This will be our server actually, so you can download it from here. Size will be nearly 5 GB or something. Just download it for your virtual machine, which is your whatever you are using, VirtualBox or virtual machine, a VMware. Download it from here. I've already downloaded it. So this is my Remnux machine. I will double click on the OA file, and it will start importing to my VMware machine. You can see that it is trying to install. I will change the directory a bit. I will tell it to install in my E directory, virtualization. I will make a new folder, and I will say Remnux. Install it here, and I will say import. So it is importing the new virtual machine. So let me brief it to you what we are going to do now. Now we will execute a malware in our Windows operating system like we were doing till now, but I will disconnect the internet so that it becomes isolated. So if it becomes isolated, I'm not gonna capture any traffic with Wireshark, Microsoft Network Monitor, and so on. And malware actually tries to find out a target, and when it gets a response, it will communicate. Otherwise it is not going to communicate with the server. So we will be using different simulations in the Remnux. You do not have to install anything. Everything is pre-installed, like Apathe DNS, fake DNS, and these type of services. These type of services will make sure that the malware thinks the malware is communicating with the real server. So the malware will send a traffic like, hey, are you a real source with which I am trying to communicate? The Remnux will say, yes, I am the real source with which you are trying to communicate, and take this response back. And malware will think like the response which it is getting from my Remnux machine is from the original target with which it was targeting. So it is basically fooling the malware, making a joke out of it actually. So Remnux is a very powerful tool. You can even install this fake Apache DNS and inetsim, yes, inetsim on any Linux machine, but it is very complicated to install this and time wasting. So you can just install the Remnux, like download the OVA file and import the machine in your VMware. Till it is importing now, I will pause the video, and when it is finished I will resume it. Now we have imported our Remnux machine in our Windows, VMware. So let us start this Remnux machine now. So our Remnux machine is being started. Since it was an OVA file, so we do not need to do anything special for it to run. It is pre-configured with all the tools which we require. Now in the Windows operating system, let us understand this. If I am saying that my Windows machine will be isolated from the internet, then the question is, how is it going to communicate with the Remnux machine, since it is isolated, right? But we have to achieve our goal now, that every traffic from Windows operating system is going to Remnux operating system. Remnux is reading all the traffic and giving a proper response back. Let's do this. I will click on edit and go to virtual network editor. So this is the network editor for VMware. It is also present for VirtualBox also. I can see a VMnet1 is host only, and we need this. I'll click on change setting if you want to do anything, but we have the VMnet1 that is host only. Okay, this means that our virtual machine will be isolated from the network, and the subnet IP is 192.168.244.0. so I will click on OK, and I'm gonna see this is my Remnux operating system and this is my Windows operating system. I will right click on Windows operating system 1 and go to settings. After going to settings, I will go to the network adapter and change it from NAT to VMnet1, since it is host only. I will click on OK. Now it is isolated from rest of the world, since it is only host only, running on host only. I will do the same for VMnet, or Remnux machine also. Go to settings, go to network adapter and click on custom, click on VMnet1 host only. Now I will check what is the IP address of my machine of Remnux. It tells me that my IP address is 192.168.224.129, and my IP address in Windows case is ipconfig is the command, and it is 192.168.224.128. it is also 224, it is also 224. Why? Because they both lie on the same subnet of VMnet1 that is host only, and we try to ping the machine of Remnux and see whether we are trying to we can communicate with it or not. 224.129, and we are getting a proper response back. This means that our Windows machine is communicating with the Remnux machine. And if there were other machines running on my VMware, then also my traffic, the network traffic can communicate with the Remnux, with the other machines also. For what if I was running Windows 10, Kali, Linux, then everyone can communicate with each one of them. Since I have selected an option that connect a host, connect VMs internally in a private network. I'm going to change this setting now. I will click on network, go to the properties And after going to the properties, I am going to click on change change adapter settings. Right click on local area network, go to properties, and after going to the properties, I will click on IPv4, click on properties, use the following: do not obtain IP address automatically. I will assign an IP address to my Windows machine 192.168, and what was that? 192.168.224.129. so 224.128 will be the IP address. This is the subnet mask, and this the default gateway we need to choose from where the traffic is going to communicate. I will say my default gateway is going to be the IP address of my Remnex machine. So each and every traffic will directly go to my Remnex machine, and it won't go anywhere else. It will find the default gateway and go there. I will again type the same IP address here too for default DNS gateway 129. So this is my IP address now, and every traffic is going through my .129, and that 129 is my Remnex machine. I will click on OK and click on close, and I'm going to open my command prompt now. I will say ipconfig. This is my IP address. I will say ping 192.168.224.129, and I'm getting a proper response back. This means that my lab is set up properly, and I will open my Remnex machine. I will say ping 192.168.224.128. This is my IP address of Windows machine, and it is trying to communicate with it, but it is not able to communicate. This means that our Windows machine is blocking the ping packets, right? So for that, go to the Windows machine and click here, click on firewall, and open your firewall settings. And because our intention is to make our Windows machine as vulnerable as possible for our malware to communicate with it properly, and in the firewall settings, click on the inbound rules. Okay, click on the import policy. This is lagging a bit. My Windows firewall and advanced setting is loaded now. It is telling me that Windows firewall is on. I will click on Windows firewall properties and make it off. I will go to private profile, make it off. I will go to public profile, make it off. I will go to IPs. It is definitely not going to. We do not need this setting. I have turned off this one off, this one off. I will click on apply. I will click on OK. I will click on import policy now. I will click on yes. No, I will click on export policy now. That's okay, that's fine. Now I will click enlarge the screen, and then I am going to click on files. Now it has properly loaded up. I will click on inbound rules. I will click on new rule. I will click on port. Then I will click on next. Then it is asking for TCP UDP. I will say all local port. Click on next. I will say allow the connection. Next. I will say next. Then I will rename it as all ports. Actually I am opening all the ports to make it more vulnerable. So my all ports is working now, and all the ports are open. Now let us scan our IP address again, ping so that's now you can see that I am able to ping. Initially my ping packets were dropped, but now the firewall and the ports are open, so the ping packets are not getting dropped. So our lab is currently set up. We have a Windows machine where we are going to execute our malware. The traffic is going directly to the Remnex machine, and in the Remnex machine we will be we will run a simulation now, and that simulation is going to respond back to the malware here, and we will also run a Wireshark here. I will run Wireshark to capture all the traffic which is coming from my Windows machine. So we are not connected with the internet and we are capturing the traffic very easily. So let's do it. And for running our simulation, we need to start some of the services in our Remnex machine, that is iNetSim and Apache DNS. Let's do that. Now I will type the command accept all IPs. So this the usage is accept all IPs start on our Ethernet 0. So I will use a sudo command also before that. No, but we do not need the sudo command. It is telling us that the IP table will accept and redirect connection to all IPs on ETH 0. So the first step is done. We will successfully accept all the IPs which our Windows machine is sending to us. Now let us start fake DNS. Just click on fake DNS, and fake DNS has been started on our this IP address of Remnex machine. Open a new tab, and in the tab type the command iNetSim, and this will start up our iNet simulator. So these are the services: FTP, POP3, HTTPS, HTTP, SMTP, SSMTP, FTP, POP3s. These are services that are running, and whatever our malware is about to request to us, we will be sending back a proper response. Right? Now open a new tab. Let's enlarge the screen. Open a new tab and type Wireshark, and our Wireshark will run on ETH 0. It is running now. So everything is set now. We will move to our Windows machine to run the malware. You can see that in the Remnex machine it will capture all the traffic. Initially it is just trying that broadcast packet, nothing else. And I will open my samples. I will open up a malware and execute it here. After executing, I will go to my Remnex machine, and it has started capturing all the traffic. You can see 15 packets it has captured and 27 packets. So these are the packets that it is capturing from the Windows machine, which has a gateway set to the Remnex machine. This is how you set up a proper sandboxing kind of lab in your own virtual environment for performing malware analysis on a safe environment. The biggest advantage of doing this is that those malware which do not communicate with inside a virtual machine will also communicate, because we are simulating a real internet connection without even having an internet connection. So that's the benefit of having such a lab in our own virtual environment. So I hope you enjoyed this video. That's it for this video. Goodbye.